Did you know that there are sales mistakes that you can make on your website? Find out what they are on this episode. Hey y'all, I'm Kendrick Shope, creator of Authentic Selling, the #1 sales process for your business, which allows you to get more customers, make more money, and have the freedom to live the life you want to live. For tactical, practical, proven, strategic sales solutions that work for your business, ring the bell and subscribe. A website is like your storefront, right? It is so incredibly important. And I am someone that has made so many website mistakes, like too many to count, which we'll do a video about sometime for y'all, because I have spent over $100,000 in websites, plural, which you do not need to do, but that's a different talk for a different time. But there are some absolutes when it comes to website design that are important if you want to make sales. There are some absolutes that even website designers miss sometimes, or they will tell you that's not really popular right now, we need to do it a different way, but they're going to affect your sales. And so we need to make sure that you know what those website mistakes are so that you don't make them. Number one, cue the Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time. Do, 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 do. This is, it is a commandment that is as old as I am, which is old, that has been around for forever, but people make this mistake all the time. And I'm going to tell you why it's so important, but having your opt-in above the fold is critical. Now, what does above the fold mean? Well, above the fold, we're going to do a little demonstration, is actually an old newspaper term. So cue the Newsies. Newsies was such a great musical. And when people would sell newspapers, Newsies would sell newspapers, they would have their newspaper, right? And there would be a great big hook or headline here, and they'd say, get your paper for $10 right here, except it was more like 10 cents right here. It's a really bad accent. Get your news right here, 10 cents. And the headline or the hook was above the fold. Anything below the fold, you had to open the paper to see. So the most catching, the most compelling, the hook was above the fold. The same thing needs to be true with your website. Above the fold means you don't have to scroll to see what's here. So your opt-in, the way that you capture email addresses, needs to be above the fold. Now, a lot of website designers will say that's outdated. It may be outdated, but it works. So this is one of those instances where you have to choose trendy over what actually works. Let me tell you why this is so important. Growing your email list or a list of potential buyers is the single most important job you have as a business owner outside of taking care of your existing customers and taking care of yourself. If you want your business to stay in business, you have to expand your reach. You have to increase your visibility. And this starts with getting people off of social media onto your email list. The best way to do that is when they land straight on that homepage is to have an incredible opt-in that is too good to pass up, that they want, and that they are ready to give you their email address for. Now, some terrible opt-ins are subscribe to my newsletter. And if you're doing that, no judgment, but ask yourself this, why the heck do I want your newsletter? I have 5,457 emails that I need to get back to. Why do I want your newsletter? Subscribe to my newsletter, get my blog, get inspirational tips. Those do not convert. So not only does your opt-in need to be above the fold, but your opt-in needs to sell. And I feel like after being in this industry for, say it with me, 11 years, this gets overlooked. A lot of business classes and a lot of marketing classes teach you, you need an opt-in, you need to get, if you don't know what an opt-in is, it's just a freebie that you give people. It's like a sample of your work in exchange for their email address. And every business course says, you need an opt-in, or most business courses, but they don't go one step deeper, which is that opt-in has to convert. It's not enough to say, subscribe to my newsletter. It's not enough to say, get inspirational tips or health tips or makeup tips. You've got to tell me why I want it. You've got to give me the benefit. So step number one, mistake that not step number one, but mistake number one that people make with their website is their opt-in is too hard to find. It is below the fold. Mistake number two is their opt-in doesn't sell, so it doesn't convert. There's a side note here that just putting your opt-in on your website isn't good enough either. So you absolutely have to have your opt-in do the work for you. And you can find more information about that in the video linked below. But we're talking about mistakes on your website. So number one is, what is number one? Do y'all remember? Opt-in above the fold. Number two is your opt-in's gotta sell. And number three, this is a big one, social media icons. Listen, the trend is to find some cool place to put your social media icons down the side, in the header. Don't do it. Social media icons below in the footer. But it's social proof. It is social proof. But social media icons belong in the footer. Why? Because if I land on your website, right, and I am like, oh, great, here's this great opt-in. Oh, here's Facebook. I'm going to check out her Facebook or Instagram. I go to your Instagram. I'm on your Instagram for less than 2 seconds, and then I'm off saying, ooh, I wonder what Joe McIntyre's doing on Instagram. And I'm done. I've never opted in. I haven't engaged with any of your content. If your social media icons are in the footer, people are more likely to scroll to get there. So the top 3 mistakes that people make on their websites that cost themselves. Number one, opt-in is not above the fold. Get it above the fold. Number 2, your opt-in doesn't sell. You have a call to action like subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to my blog, get inspirational tips, get weekly recipe. No. Tell me why I want that. And number 3, having your social media icons anywhere but the footer. Now, I had a hard time getting that now out. Now, before you go, I want you to do something for me. Please ring that bell and subscribe. Oh, yeah. I believe in you and I believe in your business. Bye, y'all.